Spears, destroyer of mounted beasts and protector of your flanks. No army should be without a few good spear units, as they're the only infantry effective at stopping enemy cavalry. Or maybe your thing is creating a wall of impenetrable spears and shields that the enemy has to fight night and day to get through. Whichever way you like to play, shields can be a very tactical game. Squandering them aimlessly can seriously hurt your chances of victory, so in this video I'm going to show you the when, where and why of spears. Now, a spearman's primary role in battle is to protect the rest of the army from those dastardly horses. So this is your basic balanced army setup. You've got skirmishers across the front, horses out wide, commander at the back, melee line in the centre, and at the edges of the melee line you've got your spear units to protect the sides of that melee line. You also have one at the back here, just in case they try to come around the back. So with this I'm pretty much covered in every direction, should they try to get their cavalry into my skirmishers or melee line. If they charge from here, this one could come out and deal with them. If they come straight at us, this one, or even this one could come out and deal with them. If they come in this direction, same thing, that one could come out and get them. If they go on the back, this unit at the back can come and get them. So you really cover from all angles. Obviously your cavalry can help as well. If the army brings a few more horses, or you suspect them of bringing more cavalry, then of course you may want to bring a few more spear units. Or if you're facing a horse heavy faction like Parthia or Scythia, then bring a hell of a lot of spears. Once the battle gets underway, it's just a case of keeping an eye on the enemy cavalry, trying to thwart any of their advances or anything they try to pull on you, bringing out your spears to help the cavalry if need be, but still remembering to protect the rest of your army. There's obviously many ways things can play out. Once the cavalry's dealt with, you could look for other spear units to engage, because there's not a lot else for them to do once the cavalry's dead, or you could flank around and hit some other units in the back. Spearmen in a braced formation are great for holding narrow passages should you need to. They can buy you time, or they can just wear the enemy down. Some spear units are better at this than others, so let's take a look at the main types of spear units and how they compare. Spearmen, primarily found in barbarian factions, most of them have pretty good armour, except for those mental naked spears. They have average attack, good against horses, rubbish against swords, some have a good charge bonus, standard. Then of course we have hoplites, recognisable by their round shield, mainly found in Greek and Eastern factions. These guys are all very well armoured, and for all intensive purposes they have exactly the same traits that I just stated for the spearmen. Overall though, I say spearmen are a better offensive attacking unit, while hoplites are a better defensive unit, great at standing their ground. There are a few other differences and similarities. Both can go into some form of shield wall, hoplite wall, shield screen, whatever. Improves their melee defense and helps them prolong a fight. Spearmen have an ability called counter cavalry tactics, which it says increases their charge defense, but as you can see the bar bonus versus large is absolutely huge, and when this is active, even after the charge, it just seems to absolutely destroy anything on four legs. So this is a great bonus for spearmen. Hoplites, some of the higher end hoplites like Royal Spartans or Shield Bearers etc. have this ability called expert charge defense, so when they get charged they'll get a little buff to some of their stats, which again is going to help them as a defensive unit, so they can just stand there, get charged and they'll get a buff. This isn't really going to help against cavalry necessarily, but this is a passive ability so it's on all the time. Now I feel I should give some mention to pikemen, as I suppose they are technically spear units, but personally I fucking hate pikemen. I think they're unbalanced and they create this invisible wall that no one can seem to get through to get to them, so they just stab everyone in the head and win every damn time. I think they either need to scale them down or give them a unit limit cap. There's nothing worse than seeing a person bring an entire army of pikes and just placing them out in front and just expecting you to walk into them. How is that fun to play? Don't understand it. Unfortunately some people are stupid enough just to walk straight into them, but if you have the tactical skill of a chair leg or no testicles, by all means bring a pike army. Avoid swordsmen. 9 out of 10 times swords will kick the crap out of spearmen with relative ease. Obviously there's a lot of variables involved on how tired they are and how already beaten up the unit is, but generally in a one-on-one matchup swords are going to beat spears, so do be careful of that and try to avoid swords wherever possible. If you bunker up into a hoplite wall or something, you can prolong the fight, make it last a bit longer, which can either help you outlast them or maybe you can get some help in there. And I think that's probably the key for spear units. If you've got, say, even the best shield units like Shield Bearers, they're not going to beat Praetorian Guard or Oathsworn or Noble Fighters. You're going to need to get them some help, whether it's horses, skirmishers, whatever. Choke points. As I said earlier, they can be great for stopping an enemy's advance or controlling the flow of the battle, buying you time should you need it. Just one sturdy hoplite unit can usually hold back a good few units, buying you the extra time that you need. When they do inevitably fall, the enemy is obviously going to come through, but then you could have another unit waiting. There's lots of tactical possibilities. Perhaps when they're engaging your choke point and they're trying to break through, you could flank around the back and sandwich them. Or you could get some skirmishers up on the wall, get them to rain down missiles on all the enemies at the choke point. So there's lots of possibilities. Spear front. So this can be a great tactic to use if you're playing as an army that has not so amazing swordsmen. You can use your hoplites to wear the enemy down, kill a few off, make them exhausted, and then by the time they come to fight the swordsmen, they're going to be pretty worn out. So it'll look a bit like this. We got our Persian hoplites on the front, spears at the sides, cavalry at the sides, and then thorax swords at the back. So as you can see, most of their units have had to engage this line here, the Persian hoplites, before they even get anywhere near my swordsmen. My swordsmen could come up and attack as well, or I could flank around the back with them. And my 3 hoplite units there have tied up about 7 enemy units, so this gives me a lot more units to flank with. And also, did you know that even after you've engaged in battle, you can start hoplite wall, hit the hoplite wall ability, and you still get the bonus from it. You can see my melee defense on my hoplites has gone up, even though they're already in battle and I just hit the ability. So keep that one in mind, don't be afraid to use it even after the battle's begun. And with all this spear based goodness, I bring this video to an end. Hopefully, if you didn't already, now you know how to use spears effectively, which can hopefully help you win some battles. I also have videos on other unit types, so be sure to check those out as well.